I got scammed out of $1,300 from a hotel in New York. Me and my sister stayed in New York City for about a week, and we booked everything pretty far in advance. I want to say we booked the hotel about 4 months before we actually went on the trip, and we booked flight accommodations, we booked restaurants, a whole bunch of stuff like super early. So we were trying to decide what hotel we wanted to stay in, and this one popped up called the Royalton Park Avenue. We were drawn to this hotel because of the location. It was within walking distance to a lot of the excursions and activities that we were planning to do. So we went ahead and booked the hotel, and it was 5 stars. It had really good reviews on Google at the time of us booking the reservation. The total for 5 nights for 2 people came out to $2,300. But it was a 5-star hotel. It was exactly where we wanted to be. So for us, we were like, okay, it's fine. Plus, it was a girls' trip. It was our first time in New York City. We wanted to make it worthwhile. So we get to New York City, we check in. They're really, really nice. It's a really easy check-in experience. My sister gave them her credit card to put on file for a deposit, which was going to be $750, but they said that it was refundable and it was for just any incidentals such as damage to the actual property. This was something that every hotel does, so we didn't really think anything of it. So we do our whole week in New York City. It was absolutely amazing. We had a really good time. The hotel was really nice, I do have to say, but we get to check out, and it was honestly just as simple as giving them our keys and saying, hey, we're heading out. And they were like, okay, you're all good. And this is where we should have noticed the red flags, because they didn't give us any of our itemized lists for charges. They didn't give us any paperwork. And usually with any hotel I've stayed at, they either like give you a breakdown of the charges, or they say, oh, okay, we had no issues. That's pretty standard from what I've seen. If I'm wrong, let me know, but that's been my experience. So we leave, we go to Syracuse for my brother's graduation, then we come back to where we live. Then the following week, my sister gets a charge for $850 on her credit card. And when she checks to see what the charge is from, it's from the hotel. Now, mind you, it had already been about almost 2 weeks since we went on this trip, and they have not refunded her the security deposit as well. So she is out $1,300. So she's freaking out, and she goes ahead and contacts the hotel to figure out what's going on. So she tries to contact the hotel, and they give her the runaround. She calls 3 times, and 2 times it goes to a dead phone line. No one ever answers. The 3rd time, someone just hangs up on her. So she's already getting a little suspicious, and then the next time that she calls, she just demands that she speaks to someone, and she asks them, hey, what is this charge? And they tell her it's for a smoking fee. And I want to make it very clear, neither me or my sister have ever smoked in our lives, and there was no reason for there to be smoke in our room. So she tries to inform them, hey, we've never smoked before. We don't know what this smoking charge is for. We have been wrongfully charged. So we tried to talk to the hotel people, and they're saying, well, our smoke alarm went off on May 7th and it detected smoke in the room. So she's trying to ask, well, what is the smoke detector? We didn't see anything in the room. We didn't hear anything. If it went off, we weren't even in the room. Is there some way that we can work with this? I've been wrongfully charged. We've never smoked in our lives. And I actually have lupus. I can't smoke. And they just basically say, well, our smoke alarm went off and we have a no smoking policy and we take it very seriously. Therefore, we have to charge this fee to get the room cleaned. Which makes sense to me. If you have a no smoking policy and someone smokes in the room, it's obviously going to be like a smell and you want to clean the room of that smell. But we never smoked in the room, and we honestly could not figure out any reason why the smoke alarm would go off in the room. So after emailing the actual manager of the property and getting no help whatsoever, my sister decides to just contact USAA, which is her bank, and dispute the charge. Since she decides to go to USAA, the manager ceases all communication and says, there's nothing I can do to help you anymore since you've contacted your bank, which I understand. But we were trying to get information from them, like, hey, can we get proof that the smoke alarm went off? Can we get proof of what it was for, what day it was, what time it was? Because we were taking lots of pictures and videos of us in New York, and if the time matched a time that we were out and about, we could prove that we weren't actually in the room. So when my sister tried to ask for this information, they refused. So my sister goes ahead and submits all our side of the story, which shows our information that we never smoked, we refute these claims, that she never got refunded her security deposit, and on top of that, she got charged the smoking fee, and these were fraudulent charges. Mind you, the thing that baffles me is that if this smoking fee was an actual fee, wouldn't they just take that out of the security deposit? Why was it a whole separate other charge and they're refusing to give back the security deposit on top of that? That's the part that I don't understand at all. After going through all of this, my sister tells me like the whole thing, like what's been going on, right? And I'm like, let me check on this. And come to find out that within the last 3 to 4 months, which is the time that we weren't really checking the Google reviews because we already booked the hotel, right? That there's been multiple reviews blaming the hotel for scamming them, allegedly, with these fraudulent smoke alarm charges. And I'm not talking it's just like a one-off instance. There's multiple reviews. So I decide to go check out these reviews, and some of them are pretty bad. One of them alleges that the manager asked them to leave the property and had the police escort them out because they refused to pay all of these extra fees. I am going to insert screenshots of these reviews. I also want to insert email communication with the manager of the property. We're still out $1,300, $1,350 to be exact. And we're not sure how the credit card company is going to find in this scenario. Because as with my understanding, the business has the right to submit their documentation as well. And if anyone understands like how these claims work with the credit card companies at all, please let me know. And like I said, the only thing I can think of is like timestamps. If we weren't in the room, then we could prove we weren't smoking in the room, obviously, but I'm out of ideas. So I'm thinking about submitting some of these reviews to the credit card company to kind of back our claims that, hey, this has been happening to other people for the fraudulent charges. And I can't imagine all the other people that are going through this and how much money that they're getting from these smoke alarm charges. And when you add up how many people are alleging the same thing, it doesn't make sense. All of these people are just willing to smoke in there, knowing the smoking policy. And again, they never told us anything when we left the property. We didn't know for like a week later when she got the charge on her credit card. And I do think that's a little weird. So if anyone else has had this issue with Royalton Park Avenue in New York City, in Manhattan, please let me know. Please reach out to me. We're trying to report them to the Better Business Bureau. And to be honest, we just want our $1,300 back. And again, I had nothing but good things to say about this hotel. The rooms were nice. The people there were nice. I'm just honestly appalled by all of these charges and how the staff have treated us now that we've raised concerns about the charges. And if you've dealt with something like this or have an understanding of how these things work, please let me know. Please reach out to me on what we should do to proceed with this, because we honestly are just really frustrated with the whole situation.